All right, welcome back to the channel. Well. A certain Hall of Fame top 10 heavyweight of all time thinks that Deontay Wilder can beat Tyson Fury and beat him easily. That's what George Foreman says. Let's talk about that and some other crazy stuff keep coming out of the UK about Tyson Fury trying to get out of the rematch with Deontay Wilder, man. Let's talk about those things and chop it up while we in quarantine in this video. All right, welcome back. Glad that you can join me in my quarantine. I hope that your quarantine is going well. George Foreman had reached out to Deontay Wilder after Deontay Wilder's loss to Tyson Fury. So first and foremost, a lot of people come by that really, this might surprise some people that I always have to go through a little bit of the background for these things, because you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that come in to the video and don't know some of the basic things that have happened in the past. So just a little bit of background. Deontay Wilder is the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world. He lost to Tyson Fury last month in the second week of February by 7th round TKO in a fight that turned out against Tyson Fury in a way that not a lot of people expected, but Tyson Fury had predicted. So, you know, Tyson Fury is now reasonably considered, and I do believe that it's reasonably considered the #1 heavyweight in the world. And, you know, it's hard to make an argument that he's not, and I won't make the argument that he's not because, hey, I do believe that he is. However, since Deontay Wilder was the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, he had what is called a rematch clause, which means that if you beat me, we have to run it back one more time. You can't fight anybody else. You got to come right back and fight me. Deontay Wilder had that in his contract, and he notified them that Deontay Wilder intended to exercise that rematch clause, the rematch clause, and now we have another fight coming up. But there's a whole lot of people that believe that Deontay Wilder has no chance to beat Tyson Fury at all. The fight there's no need to have the fight. You keep having out of the UK. Now, I know that these are not serious boxing websites or serious boxing authors that are putting these things out. I think that they're more like tabloid. I think more tabloidish thing, like the Mirror. I think the Mirror is more of a tabloidish type of deal that covers sports. If you're from the UK, correct me if I'm wrong, but they put something out today that said that Tyson Fury's team is still trying to find a way to get Deontay Wilder to step aside so that they can fight Anthony Joshua. I don't believe that. I don't believe that Tyson Fury's team is actually trying to do that. Because they already put out a statement. I think it was a joint statement between Top Rank, MTK Global, and Frank Warren, who is Tyson Fury's promoter, and said to ignore any other rumors about them being in negotiations for any other fight, because they already have their fight set with Deontay Wilder. That's set in stone. They're going to go back and do that. And that makes absolute positive sense. I think that a lot of people that are saying that Tyson Fury is looking to get out of the fight, more than likely are just responding, or getting their sources or listening to people that asked Tyson Fury the question. And Tyson Fury is just one of these guys that just vacillates all the time about a lot of things. So he might give them the answer that they want to hear. But, at the end of the day, man, Tyson Fury more than likely is not trying to get out of that fight. And he probably has no way to get out of the fight if he wanted to, even if he wanted to get out of the fight. Right. So, but the thing that George Foreman said, which was, hey, you guys need to stop writing Deontay Wilder off. Deontay Wilder can come back and beat Tyson Fury, and he can beat Tyson Fury easily. Now, it's easy a lot of times, or I think the tendency is a lot of times for people to, after a fight is over and somebody wins convincingly, to write the guy that lost off. You know what I mean? So But there's plenty of examples in boxing of you having a fight with a guy, one fight where it turns out one way, the next fight turns out radically different. Then you come back and the fight could turn out a different way, right? So you have a situation like Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao. You know, they fought 4 times. One of those 4 times was a very vicious knockout where Manny Pacquiao wound up dead flat, flat on his face. But that doesn't mean that if Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao had fought a 5th time, that Juan Manuel Marquez was going to knock him out every time that happened. That's not how that stuff pans out. Right? Or it doesn't pan out all the time. Sometimes you definitely get the Sonny Liston versus Floyd Patterson, knocked you out once, I'm gonna knock you out the second time. Or George Foreman knocked you out the first time, Frazier knocking you out the second time, Frazier. Those are those type of circumstances. But those are not, it's not written in stone that that's the case. And George Foreman obviously knows that's the case because George Foreman has something that Deontay Wilder also has that can always change a fight, and that is the ability to knock somebody completely unconscious with one shot, right? He can be down in a fight. If he touches you with that shot, you can go bye-bye. And so I'm sure George Foreman understands that. Now, George Foreman had talked to, let out a little bit of the information about what he told Deontay Wilder when they spoke, and I'm sure they spoke about more things than what they're actually going to, let out. But George Foreman said that he told Deontay Wilder, you just got to get your head. It's tough when you lose. I know what it's like when you lose in an unexpected fashion. This is how you get your head around it. And you got to get back out there and don't treat it as if, that's the end of the world. You can get back up and you can beat the guy the next time. Right now, George Foreman obviously knows what it is, what it's like to lose in a stage like Tyson Fury. I mean, like Deontay Wilder lost on, and that was Deontay Wilder lost to Tyson Fury by knockout, and he was the undefeated knockout heavyweight champion of the world. People were talking about him, are talking about him, still understand that Deontay Wilder is one of the hardest punchers ever. But when they talk about him being one of the hardest punchers ever, they talk and they bring up, well, does he hit harder than George Foreman? Right? You bring up George Foreman. Some people might bring up Rocky Marciano. You bring up Ernie Shavers, Mike Tyson, guys like that. And so George Foreman is one of those guys, and George Foreman was in the same situation when he lost to Muhammad Ali and dipped into depression and knew what it was to get out of the depression, right? All that type of stuff. Those are messages that George Foreman can share with Deontay Wilder. Also, George Foreman knows what it's, because he's a heavyweight championship boxer. He knows what it is to go into the ring. He knows what it is to deal with your nerves. He knows what it is to prepare for these fights. And if a guy like that can say, look, man, Deontay Wilder can come back and beat Tyson Fury easily, and he's a great boxing mind as well. He's an Olympic gold medalist, right? The guy knows boxing. I don't believe George Foreman is just going to say that just to, make Deontay Wilder feel better. I believe that he thinks the same way that Buddy McGirt feels. Buddy McGirt, who's the trainer for, Buddy McGirt has done several turnarounds on guys like Arturo Gatti. He worked with Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti was like, was like blood and guts. You hit me, I'm gonna hit you. I'll take 3 shots to give you 1 type of fighter, until he got with Buddy McGirt. Buddy McGirt switched up his style, changed a few things, and then he became a much better boxer. Now, he didn't become the best boxer in the world, right? He wound up getting smashed up by Floyd Mayweather Jr., but still, he became an excellent boxer underneath the tutelage of Buddy McGirt. Same thing as Kovalev in what Buddy McGirt did with Kovalev and Alvarez, how he turned that getting knocked out to beating Alvarez in the next fight. You have these guys that really do know the sport that say, hey, look, man, Deontay Wilder doesn't need to adjust that much. He just needs to do these few things and he can beat Tyson Fury. The thing that surprises me is that other people don't understand that. If you look at the first fight, Tyson Fury, it was seriously, sometimes I sit back and do think that Tyson Fury has to be blessed, because two of those fights, he should have been easily could have been stopped depending on who the ref was. Deontay Wilder, that knockdown in the 12th round, dude, that could have easily been stopped by a lot of refs would have stopped that. And that's not something that can't happen again. Same thing happened with the Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin opened his eye up, man. As most fights, that fight would have been stopped. But Tyson Fury didn't have it stopped. That seems like two close calls for Tyson Fury to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in a close call again and the third one is a charm and it doesn't work out. So, I just reject I agree with George Foreman and Buddy McGirt that the idea that Deontay Wilder is not done. Deontay Wilder can come back and win the fight. I did a video on it yesterday saying, yeah, man, it's not going to be easy for him to do it, but it's without a doubt a possibility. Anyway, you let me know what you think about what George Foreman has to say in the comment sections. Let me know any other questions that you have. I'll try my absolute best to get to them. Thank you to everybody that supports in the live streams, the videos, the Patreon, and the channel memberships. And with that, I'm out. Peace.